Good morning, Senator Rubio. I'm James Trout. I'm a person with Asperger's syndrome, and I work for Respectability USA. We're a disability rights organization based in the Washington, D.C. area. And my question for you is as follows. You spoke very movingly during your speech about the American dream, and there are 56 million people with disabilities, many of whom are veterans. And what would President Rubio do to address the unemployment issue that people with disabilities have? Would you work with private enterprise, state government, local government,
Sure.
etc.?
Thank you very much. Yeah, disabilities are a very broad spectrum. For example, an issue like we've worked on when I was Speaker of the Florida House, autism, the spectrum is very broad, from highly functional to people that need lifelong care. Obviously, we have family members or individuals that are facing some of these challenges with their own children and friends that are facing these challenges as well. And then there are other related disabilities that range from Down syndrome to learning disabilities and so forth. And then there are physical disabilities as a result of service or just injury. So it's a wide spectrum. I think the first question on the issue of things like autism, the most important thing that happens when someone is diagnosed is early diagnosis, so you can quickly provide services. You get those first few years. If a child in those early years does not receive the therapy and care that they need, their chances of being functional later are dramatically reduced. So it is that quick intervention that's very critical. So one of the things we worked on when I was Speaker of the House is opening up the insurance coverage so that it would include coverage for these sorts of things. But here's the other thing that's frustrating. And that is, a lot of parents live in a community that does not provide a school system that has adequate services for people like that. And as a result, they get stuck in the school system without ever receiving these services. It's one of the reasons why I am such a strong supporter of school choice, especially for children that face disabilities. Parents should be able to send their children to the best setting for them, especially if they have a disability. In Florida, we have a program called the McKay Scholarship, but it's not perfect. Because McKay says you have to go to a public school and fail for a year, and then you can use it. So one of the things I've proposed at the federal level is a corporate scholarship fund, which allows corporations to pay a portion of what they owe the federal government in taxes, instead donate it to local not-for-profit scholarship organizations that give out school choice scholarships, not just for poor or needy families, but also for families of those who are disabled, so they can put their children in a school or a setting, and even if it costs money, that provide these services for them. The other thing we're going to have to look at is the disability fund in America, because there's abuse going on there. And it's unfair to the people that are truly disabled. We have a disability fund in America today that has become, for many people, the new long-term unemployment. It is easier to get on it than to get off of it. And it goes to the point I made about the safety net. The safety net was never designed to be a way of life. It was designed to cure poverty, and we don't cure poverty. So one of the things that I want to see both in the disability fund and in the safety net programs that we use to help people is ensure that if you are on these programs, you are able to fulfill your potential. Now, if you are permanently and legitimately disabled, that you may be for the rest of your life dependent. But if you are not, if you are someone that has some capability of providing for yourself, we should be, as part of our safety net program, requiring and providing either education or access to a job so you can acquire the skills you need to maximize your potential and never again have to rely on government. Today we don't do that. Today all our safety net programs do is they treat the symptoms of poverty. They help you pay your bills and buy food and pay your utilities. But they don't do anything to help you acquire the skills you need for a better paying job. So I want to see in both our disability fund and in our safety net programs both a requirement and a path so that everyone on it is either going to school, unless you're permanently disabled, everyone who's on it is either going to school or working. So you can acquire the skills you need for a job that pays more, and then you never have to be dependent on government again.